Information governance affects every organization, whether you realize it or not. It shapes how information is created, protected, trusted, and ultimately disposed of. In this video, we explore a practical information governance topic, explained clearly, without unnecessary jargon, and focused on real-world risk, compliance, and outcomes. Managing risk, compliance, and privacy through information governance. Information governance, IG, is one of the most practical ways to reduce organizational risk because it turns good intentions, such as policies, procedures, and compliance requirements, into consistent day-to-day controls across the full information lifecycle. Without governance, information sprawl increases exposure to privacy breaches, audit findings, litigation risk, and operational inefficiency. In this video, we explain how information governance reduces risk in real terms through clear accountability, lifecycle controls, and technology configuration that supports privacy and compliance at scale. Why information risk is increasing. Most organizations now operate with information spread across email, shared drives, cloud platforms, collaboration tools, and business systems. That volume and fragmentation creates risk when basic governance questions cannot be answered consistently. Where is the authoritative version of a document or record stored? Who is accountable for classification, access decisions, and retention rules? How do we prove compliance during an audit or investigation? How do we reduce privacy exposure by controlling personal and sensitive information? When do we dispose of information, defensibly and with auditability? If you're new to the series, start with: what is information governance and why it matters in the digital age? For the operating model and components, see the Information Governance Framework, Key Components Explained. The 3 risk areas IG controls most effectively. 1. Compliance and audit risk. Compliance risk increases when policies exist but cannot be demonstrated in practice. Auditors and regulators typically look for evidence of consistent control. Retention rules applied, access restricted appropriately, and disposal actions authorized and recorded. Information governance reduces audit risk by implementing clear decision rights, who approves standards, retention rules, and disposal actions, repeatable processes, classification, handling, retention, and disposal procedures, auditability, logs, reports, and evidence that controls are applied consistently, monitoring, key performance indicators and reviews that identify risk hotspots early, related service, audits and maturity assessments. 2. Privacy and data protection risk. Privacy risk is not only about breaches, it's also about retaining personal information longer than necessary, uncontrolled sharing, and inability to locate and manage personal information when required. Information governance supports privacy and data protection by applying classification and access controls to personal and sensitive information, enforcing retention rules, so information is not kept indefinitely, reducing duplication and uncontrolled repositories, improving findability and governance over where personal information is stored, supporting defensible responses to requests, audits, and investigations. A practical governance approach is especially important in environments where personal information exists across multiple repositories and is shared informally through email or collaboration tools. 3. Operational and decision risk. Information risk is also a productivity problem. When staff cannot reliably find the right information, they recreate content, rely on outdated versions, or make decisions based on incomplete evidence. That leads to rework, delays, and avoidable cost. Information governance improves operational reliability by creating clear structures aligned to business activities, consistent metadata to support search, filtering, and reporting, authoritative sources so staff know what to trust, lifecycle discipline to reduce clutter and duplication, how IG turns risk requirements into working controls, governance and accountability. Most risk failures happen when ownership is unclear. Information governance defines who makes decisions and who is accountable for standards and controls, business, compliance, legal, security, and IT included. Lifecycle controls, retention and defensible disposal. Retention without disposal is one of the most common risk accelerators. If nothing is disposed of, risk and cost grow indefinitely. A defensible disposal process ensures information is destroyed with approvals and audit trails when retention requirements are met. Technology enablement, configured to support governance. Platforms like SharePoint and EDRMS solutions can enforce governance at scale, if implemented with the right structure, metadata, access rules, and lifecycle controls. If not, they often become uncontrolled storage environments. Practical warning signs that your organization needs stronger information governance. Retention rules exist, but disposal does not happen or cannot be evidenced. Users store business records in personal drives, mailboxes, or unmanaged team spaces. Permission structures are inconsistent and difficult to explain. Sensitive or personal information is shared without a clear handling standard. Audits require emergency cleanups to find evidence and documentation. Staff don't know where the authoritative version of key information lives. These are governance problems, not user problems. The solution is to make governed working the easiest way to work. A practical roadmap to reduce risk with information governance. Confirm scope and priorities. Identify the highest risk information and most critical repositories. Define governance, roles, decision rights, escalation, and approvals. Implement classification and handling rules. Focus on what users can apply consistently. Implement retention and disposal with clear authority and auditable processes. Configure technology, structure, metadata, permissions, retention enforcement, and reporting. Measure and improve. Key performance indicators, audits, and targeted improvements over time. If you want to accelerate alignment and move quickly from discussion to an implementable plan, a facilitated workshop is often the fastest path. Contact us if you want to organize an information governance strategy workshop. Do you need help reducing risk through information governance? COR Concepts helps organizations implement governance-led controls that reduce compliance and privacy risk, improve auditability, and make information more trustworthy and usable in day-to-day work. If you need a practical roadmap supported by standards, lifecycle controls, and the right platform configuration, we can help. If you found this useful, you'll find the rest of this information governance series valuable as well. Each video focuses on a specific aspect of governing information responsibly in the digital age. Subscribe to stay updated and join us in the next video, where we continue building a practical information governance framework. Thanks for watching.